Welcome to That's Good Sports. I am Brandon. How much Super Bowl will the Broncos win after free agency? Perna. A lot. The Broncos were pretty aggressive in the 48-hour tampering window. That is the official, unofficial start to NFL free agency. As a Broncos fan, though, I'm getting used to winning the offseason and never the regular season. But so far, I like what this team has done. Denver had to spend money on the offensive line, which is pretty boring, but desperately needed. They added size up front to protect Russell Wilson, brought back a key piece on defense, lost a key piece on defense, and signed a new key piece, and then bolstered their backfield. Let's break down exactly what happened with the Broncos today on That's Good Sports. Please subscribe to this YouTube channel. Today's episode is sponsored by HelloFresh. And with my code That'sGood60, you will get 60% off plus free shipping. That's an incredible discount to try something I use regularly. HelloFresh is actually cheaper than shopping at the grocery store. And I'm not sure if you've noticed lately, but eggs are basically more expensive than a franchise QB. Personally, I love HelloFresh because I can be brain dead from a lack of sleep and working too much and cook chef-crafted dinners for my family without using my brain, since HelloFresh gives you step-by-step instructions for every meal. And if you like improvising when you cook, you're still able to do so. And if you're following a specific eating plan, you can customize your meals by swapping proteins or sides or adding proteins and or veggies to any dish with options for organic chicken and organic beef upgrades. I made this chicken pasta in about 35 minutes, and I did it on my busiest workday of the week. On 4 hours of sleep, I literally picked the worst day of the week to shoot this promo, but it was a breeze because HelloFresh is that foolproof. For effortless meals, go to HelloFresh.com and use code That'sGood60 for 60% off plus free shipping. Hopefully, after you cook for your family, though, they don't relegate you to the kids' table. All right, the Broncos. They made a move at quarterback, signing former Raiders backup to Derek Carr, Jarrett Stidham. Stidham started in 2 games after Carr was infamously benched, and he dealt against the 49ers in one of those starts. Now, I think he's a very good backup, but more importantly, the Broncos have shown a level of humanity we don't always see in the NFL, officially becoming a refugee camp for victims of Josh McDaniels' war crimes and rule as an incredibly ineffective but torturous dictator. You're safe now, Jarrett. You're safe. Now, last week, the Broncos released corner Ron Darby, who is one of 700 players to tear his ACL for the Broncos last season, guard Graham Glasgow, and running back Chase Edmonds to free up roughly $37 million in cap space. Then Sean and George Payton went on a spending spree like a teenage girl at the mall with daddy's credit card. Oops, sorry, I meant spending spree at Walmart. Now, running back Mike Boone and fullback tight end / hybrid running dude Andrew Beck both signed with the Houston Texans, where they will complete their career suicides. Now, that meant the Broncos running back room featured Javonte Williams coming off an injury and Damare Crockett coming off an injury and Tyler Beatty. Both Latavius Murray and Marlon Mack still free agents. And in a move nobody really saw coming, the Broncos signed one of my favorite underrated ball carriers in Samaje Perna. Smartly, Peyton Squared opted for the Bengals running back that never punched a woman, or whose sister may have allegedly shot a teenage boy. Running back was becoming a big need, especially since we don't know when Javonte Williams will be ready to go. What I love about Perine is he's a stout back at 240 pounds, a punishing type runner with a nasty stiff arm who is sneaky good catching passes out of the backfield. Perine can carry the load if needed, and the Broncos may put their load on him to start the season. Every time he filled in for Joe Mixon, he was pretty damn good in Cincinnati. More importantly, he also did this to those godforsaken Chiefs, keeping them from a ring. At least one season. And I will always be grateful. And another thing, in 5 years, he's never fumbled. So he's essentially the anti-Melvin Gordon, and I think Broncos fans will love him for that alone. Now, one guy everyone in Broncos country was hoping to bring back was defensive end Draymond Jones. The Broncos forgot about Dre, as he left and signed with the motherfucking Seahawks. I will now refer to Draymond Jones as Judas, because this level of betrayal has officially made Jesus not want to rise again. Ultimately, when you're losing as a football team and you lose one of your big name players, it's really not the end of the world. Draymond Jones was good and the Broncos still sucked. So who cares, right? Vance Joseph had his eye on Dre's replacement, Eminem. Cardinals defensive end Zach Allen agreed to terms on a 3-year, $45.75 million deal, including $32.5 million guaranteed. He's back with Vance Joseph, who is his DC in Arizona. I'm not sure if that's good or bad, but apparently the Arizona Cardinals had a first-round grade on Zach Allen when they drafted him in 2019. He fell to them in the 3rd, which scares me in that maybe they were the only team to put that grade on him. J.J. Watt loved the signing, but J.J. Watt also chose to end his career with the Cardinals. Again, there's a trend of judgment I don't trust. Okay, that's all I'm saying. But here's why you should feel good about Zach Allen and why I ultimately think Denver went with him over Draymond Jones. I think he's got more upside against the run. Next Gen Stats marked him down as the 2nd best run stopper, trailing only Aaron Donald in 2022. A run stuffer. Take that with a grain of salt because Pro Football Focus graded him poorly against the run. In fact, Pro Football Focus graded Draymond Jones worse than Zach Allen, which to me means nobody knows how to grade a defensive end, okay? Allen also had 8 passes defended, so I'm not sure if that means he can indeed drop into coverage from the end, but he and Dre had nearly identical stats last season, so Denver signed a comparable player who may be better against the run. Not that the Chiefs or Chargers will ever run the damn ball, but Broncos got a guy for $5 million less per year than Draymond Jones ended up getting in Seattle. Bottom line, if Randy Gregory isn't in the hospital every week and Baron Browning takes the next step as an edge rusher, Zach Allen should be fine. It's fine. Now, I referenced it in Monday's video, but I think the Broncos offensive line got a lot better. All right, Sean Payton and offensive line coach Zach Strief saw flaws on Russell Wilson's condom that is the offensive line, his protection. In a move Broncos fans aren't used to seeing with their O-lines, they added a bunch of size and strength up front. They started with Ravens guard Ben Powers and then landed 49ers right tackle Mike McGlinchey. They both got a lot of money, to which I say good. Call me crazy, all right? But Mike McGlinchey seems like an upgrade at right tackle compared to the 76 players we've had revolving through that position over the last 8 years. The Broncos have treated right tackle like a glory hole, letting everyone stick their junk in there, and we are not on the fun side of the glory hole, guys. Not on the fun side, all right? Now stop me. Just stop me when you hear a player that you think is better than McGlinchey at right tackle. Calvin Anderson, Billy Turner, Cam Fleming. Those were just the players last season. Bobby Macy, DeMar Dotson, Juwan James. Remember that massive contract that resulted in like 8 snaps? Elijah Wilkinson, Menelik Watson, another whiff. Donald Stevenson, Michael Schofield, Luis Vasquez moved over from guard. Chris Clark, okay, we're getting a little bit more solid. And then, yeah, Orlando Franklin. 2013 was the last time Denver had a right tackle start more than one season with Franklin. And that just so happened to coincide with the greatest offensive season in NFL history. So what I'm saying is Russell Wilson will break Peyton Manning's touchdown record because of Mike McGlinchey.
Broncos country, let's ride.
Shut the fuck up, 49ers fans. I don't care. I don't care what you're saying, okay? Ignore the 49ers fans saying all he does is get penalized. Worry about your damn QB staying healthy, all right, 49ers fans? It was Tyler Kroft, okay, who got Purdy hurt, not McGlinchey, in the championship game. Now, McGlinchey had 8 accepted penalties in 2022. That is a little high, but he also played with 3 different QBs. Penei Sewell had 8. Lyle Collins, 7. Deion Dawkins, 8. That was the most of McGlinchey's career, by the way, and I bet it will decrease to the league average again. I'm not worried about this penalty narrative. For the Broncos, if he stays healthy, this will be the best right tackle they have had in 10 years. He was a top right tackle available. He had an average season in 2022, and if he is an average tackle on the right side, it will be a massive upgrade for the team. What do I think of the Ben Power signing?
More power! All right, more power.
More power. More. Now, he will be quite a bit better than Dalton Reisner at guard, and once Garrett Bowles is healthy, I think that will really benefit Bowles. Powers is probably the best signing Denver made in free agency so far. It's literally just at the most boring position on the most boring positional group. Linebacker Alex Singleton returns, and anyone who thinks Denver overpaid for him is an idiot. Broncos and Eagles fans know he's a stud. Singleton is one of the grittiest players in the league. He's all over the field. It's like there's 2 of him. Doubleton, if you will. Or maybe I just confuse him with Josie Jewell sometimes. Is Singleton perfect? No, but he earned my respect last year as a fan, and I'm ready to punch all of these casuals in their tiny baby dicks if they try to slander this man. $6 million a year for 3 years is a very fair deal for Singleton. And don't forget, he was defensive MVP in Canada and won the Grey Cup. This is a journeyman story you should appreciate. And Next Gen Stats posted that Alex, I won't be single for long with this new bag, had the highest defensive stop rate for any linebacker since 2016. I don't even know exactly what this stat means, but he was the best. The friggin' best, and if you disagree, you're a moron. Now Denver tendered punter Corliss Waitman, lineman Quinn Bailey, and linebacker Jonas Griffith. Tight end Chris Manhertz also reunites with Sean Payton, and his job will be grading the road for the run game as a blocking tight end. Manhertz will help McGlinchey or Bowles, and as long as the men he hurts play for Kansas City, this could be a sneaky, impactful signing. Fullback Mike Burton also agreed to a 1-year deal, also reuniting with Sean Payton. So Denver is going to run the football with brutality, and that's what they need to succeed with Russ. Now, the Broncos have about $10 million left in cap space. And they mostly might be done in free agency. Mostly. They did aggressively pursue receiver Alan Lazard, who ultimately chose the Jets. So they may be eyeing a receiver still. But if they do receive a trade offer for, say, Cortland Sutton or KJ Hamler that they like, they could have another move left in them, another big move. If Sutton is traded, Denver can create $5 to $7 million in cap space this year. If that happens, then maybe they land CJ Gardner-Johnson to join the secondary, or the newly available Darius Slay. Imagine Surtain and Slay. They would certainly slay the opponents, the competition. But I'm not going to get ahead of myself. Conclusion, here's what I respect, all right? I think Sean Payton has a vision for how he wants to build this team. And I never really felt that way about Vance Joseph, Vic Fangio, or Nate Dogg Hackett. For better or worse, I like that Sean is building it his way. Now, I'm going to roll with the idea that Sean Payton knows what a successful NFL roster looks like. And if Russell Wilson plays poorly again, then it doesn't really matter what the Broncos do in free agency for the upcoming year. If Sean builds a team the way he wants to, and Russ fails, then he has the roster to move on and make that change. But I see a roster forming that will be very good at running the ball, which will set up Russ to do what he does best. Say corny shit, and then drop moon balls over 28 times for tutties next season. Thanks for watching That's Good Sports. Broncos free agency edition. Come back later for the Aaron Rodgers trade episode if he is indeed traded, and for some of the shocking and surprising cuts of NFL free agency.